No one has to tell Joe Biden what's in the Constitution. He was in the room when it was written. I'm sure The Rock is a good guy and a bright guy. And that is not enough. Not enough. And frankly, the fact that he thinks he can step into the single hardest job in the world with no preparation tells me one thing for sure about his judgment. It's terrible.
Some celebrities honestly believe they're qualified to run a state, or worse, the whole country. And their fans? They cheer them on like it's the next blockbuster premiere. But not everyone's buying that fantasy, least of all, Bill Maher. With his trademark sarcasm and surgical wit, Maher tears apart the illusion that pretending to be a president on screen somehow prepares you to be one in real life. While Hollywood bathes in self-importance, Maher slices straight through the glitter to reveal just how absurd celebrity politics has become. Buckle up. He's about to drop one of his most brutally honest rants yet.
Someone must explain why celebrities running for high office is a recurring nightmare we cannot seem to shake. The Rock, Caitlyn Jenner, Matthew McConaughey, Randy Quaid, they all have suggested lately that when it comes to running the country, they have what it takes. And they do. Malignant narcissism.
Maher kicked things off with a question only he could phrase so bluntly. Why do actors keep thinking they can run the country just because they once played a president? He didn't hold back, reminding everyone that acting is a carefully choreographed illusion. Perfect lighting, scripted heroics, and unlimited do-overs. Real leadership doesn't come with retakes or applause when your policies flop. Maher's punchline nailed it. Hollywood's ego keeps mistaking fame for wisdom. It's easy to look smart under studio lights. It's a lot harder when the lights are off and the country's problems are real.
I'm sure Caitlyn Jenner is a nice person, but as California governor, she would be in charge of the world's fifth largest economy, based on her qualifications of being a background character in a reality show not about her. Randy Quaid, who you will remember as Cousin Eddie in the Vacation movies and as Guy rooting through your recycling bin in real life, also says he might want to run our state. When did governing become the safety school for when the guest spots on Chicago Fire dry up?
Maher didn't spare anyone. He brought up Caitlyn Jenner, joking that someone who couldn't stay relevant in her own reality show probably shouldn't try running a state. Ouch, but fair. If you can't command respect under your own roof, how can you lead millions? He drew the same parallel with Dennis Quaid, another example of celebrity ambition outpacing ability. For Maher, fame and leadership make a toxic cocktail, and Hollywood keeps proving him right with every new candidate who thinks a fan base equals a mandate.
We treat government like the lowest rung of celebrity. Rock stars, movie stars, TV stars, Dancing with the Stars, magicians, congressmen. Governing is a difficult, nuanced job with people's lives and livelihoods at stake. Perhaps you've noticed that things in America have been a little different these last 5 months. That's because there are people back in charge who spent their formative years not on a soundstage, but studying the stuff you need to know to be effective on the world stage.
Maher nailed it. Running a government isn't like running a movie set. There's no director to yell "cut" when you mess up, no applause when the budget collapses, and no PR agent who can spin incompetence into inspiration. Real leadership is slow, grinding, unglamorous work. It's about decisions that affect lives, not ratings. Yet too many celebrities treat politics like a vanity project, a sequel nobody asked for. Maher cuts through the delusion, reminding viewers that there's no makeup artist in the world who can cover the bruises of bad policy.
Matthew McConaughey is, I'm sure, also a lovely person, but when he says he's considering a run for governor in Texas, I must say that is not all right. And I'm not saying that he and all these candidates haven't led lifetimes of glorious achievement. The Rock proved once and for all that weightlifters can drive. Maher introduced Lincolns to stoners, and Caitlyn married the woman who married the guy who defended OJ. And it's not that they are actors, it's that they're not professionals in this other field called government.
Expecting a celebrity to run a government is like asking a carpenter to fix your plumbing. Sure, they both use tools, but not the same ones. Charisma and camera presence can win crowds, but they don't balance budgets or navigate global crises. A movie star can fire up a crowd, but a president has to face inflation, foreign threats, and bureaucracy. For every Arnold Schwarzenegger who somehow pulled it off, there are dozens who crash and burn. Maher's point stands. Leadership requires competence, humility, and actual policy knowledge, things that can't be rehearsed.
This guy was a rock star, but because he was good in his field of government. That's not you.
I'm with Maher on this one. Governors and presidents aren't figureheads for posters. They're guardians of a nation's destiny. They need to understand economics, defense, diplomacy, and law. Without that foundation, a country becomes a sitcom. Chaotic, funny at times, but ultimately tragic. Maher isn't saying celebrity should be banned from politics. He's saying ambition without preparation is dangerous. If a star really wants to serve, study first. Learn governance. Understand consequences. Running a nation isn't a season of reality TV. It's a full-time, high-stakes job that demands brains, grit, and humility.
What agency is responsible for our nuclear weapons? What does the 14th Amendment say? Who's the Prime Minister of India? In the event of another nuclear standoff with Russia or China, describe Kennedy's strategy that got us out of the Cuban Missile Crisis. Governing is not a job you can pick up on the afternoon of the inauguration. You can't learn it on the fly. You can't fix it in post. Putin's not on a green screen, and he doesn't give a shit about your $1 million smile. If he tells you at a summit that he'd like to take Belarus now, you have to know that's a country and not his lunch order.
Most celebrities who wander into politics discover the hard way that winning an election and governing are two different worlds. The first is about charisma. The second is about competence. Many spend their first term fumbling through on-the-job training, an experiment too risky when national security and livelihoods hang in the balance. Even seasoned leaders struggle. Just look at Kamala Harris, whose speeches still sound like they were assembled by a committee of interns. Maher's point is clear. Leadership isn't about showing up. It's about showing substance.
No one has to tell Joe Biden what's in the Constitution. He was in the room when it was written. I'm sure The Rock is a good guy and a bright guy. And that is not enough. Not enough. And frankly, the fact that he thinks he can step into the single hardest job in the world with no preparation tells me one thing for sure about his judgment. It's terrible. You need more proof? Kanye West thought he could do it.
Maher has his critiques, but let's expand the lens. Take Joe Biden's tenure. His border policy led to record-high crossings, and inflation hit a 40-year peak at over 9%. Gas prices soared. Mortgage rates spiked, and the cost of living crushed working families. Sure, job numbers looked good on paper, but household debt climbed, savings shrank, and the American dream drifted further out of reach. Maher often stops short of calling this out directly. But the evidence speaks louder than any monologue. Leadership isn't performance, it's results.
You need more proof? Kanye West thought he could do it. The Rock says he might be the right man for the job because he believes he can unite the country. You can't. Why? Because the blue states and red states both like your stupid movies? Let me put it bluntly to you and all these would-be showbiz candidates. You're not good enough, you're not smart enough, and doggone it, it completely doesn't matter that people like you.
And that's where Maher's critique hits hardest. People love their favorite stars, but popularity doesn't equal capability. Politics isn't about fan clubs. It's about facing relentless scrutiny, daily outrage, and decisions that can't be undone. Even saints get smeared. Imagine what happens to Hollywood icons under that spotlight. In politics, you can't please everyone. You take a stand, you own it, and you deal with the fallout. Maher's right. Hollywood lights fade fast when the brutal glare of real governance sets in.
They like you now because you're an entertainer and thus largely uncontroversial. Governing is the opposite. If you think you can unite the country, you're delusional. A space alien attack couldn't unite this country. The aliens would say, "Take us to your leader," and 70% of Republicans would drive them to Mar-a-Lago.
Republicans tend to stand by their leaders more than Democrats do. But Maher's larger point is universal. America's more divided than it's been in generations. Politics now seeps into everything: friendships, families, even dating. Compromise feels extinct, and empathy is the new rebellion. When Maher calls for unity, it sounds noble, but almost naive. Healing this divide will take more than hashtags. It demands humility and leadership that prioritizes country over ego. Hollywood might sparkle, but governing isn't about red carpets or applause. It's about sacrifice, integrity, and wisdom. Fame opens doors, but it doesn't fix broken systems. Maher's critique isn't just about stars chasing power. It's about voters chasing illusions. Maybe it's time we stop confusing charisma with competence. And that wraps up today's video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button and subscribe for more sharp, thought-provoking takes. Because here at Scandal Spotlight, we shine a light where others won't.